And you can use this body language. You can use it when you buy a car, book a vacation, ask your children, how was school today? I mean, you can use it anytime, all the time. Go to a restaurant, the waiter comes up and says, what do you recommend? And watch his body language. You know, you're looking at, I can't decide, what do you recommend? And watch his body language or her body language and see what the server does. I do it all the time.
What do they typically do?
They typically try to push what the chef told them to push.
Right.
Right. We need to push chicken tonight. Okay. So the chicken is going to be, but you can usually tell. I never give them, well, how's the lasagna? I never say that because I already know the answer to that question. Right. Server's not going to say lasagna's horrible. Don't eat it.
I've only had that a couple of times.
I've never had anybody say that to me.
Like I'll give them an A or B, and they'll be like, "Don't get those."
Yeah.
But that's rare.
I've never had anybody do that to me. But I would say, hey, what do you recommend? What's good? You know, however you want, and just watch what they do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
We'll have to try that. We'll have to purposely go through. Another thing that's neat in listening to you talk is, again, for the people that haven't been around this, is the complexity and the weight when you go in that room. I think a lot of people think that you go in that room and it's a conversation. And of course, people from the peanut gallery, which is natural, they'd say, I'd ask this, why didn't I ask that? But if you start with the complexities of the legal system and the structure that we have to have in place to understand where we're at when we go in, then you go with the idea that, like you said, because I was the same way, especially if I was tired, absent the body language, focusing on what the hell they're saying to not let that slip so you don't miss that question. Because you will go back later, you'll be looking at your transcript and you're like, that was a jump point. That was it. And even if you did okay, but we're critical of ourselves, because I'm remembering I'm living in interviews right now that went on for a long time with a lot of complex stories.
Oh, yeah.
One of them from Lexington to Nicholasville to Marion County. And I remember you're bringing that back to live again about how you're trying to follow this story because you know in that story are the places where you're going to get the jam. So I think that's good for people to hear. This isn't going in and just speaking with somebody. It's a lot of work. And it takes training.
There's a lot of science behind it. When you really break that down, there is a ton of science behind this. And I've tried to break it down as much as I can to make it as simple for me as I can. Because like I said earlier, I like to keep things kind of monkey simple. But there's just so much going on in your brain. Because if you're asking a person about an incident and they want to be deceptive, they're going to make it as muddy as they possibly can.
Yes.
They want to give you so much untruthful information to try to confuse you or to try to throw you off the trail or to try to protect someone else from something that happened.